But another guy too that I'm intrigued with, and I'm a huge fan of him. We talked about him earlier. I think he's going to get that extension, but what do you think is up with the Lamar Jackson situation in Baltimore? And do you think he'll get a contract this year, or do you think they'll have to wait next year? Because again, he doesn't have an agent. His mom is basically his agent or represents him. What do you think Baltimore is going to do? When do you think they're actually going to pay Jackson? And what do you think Baltimore is going to do this offseason?
I like them.
Right?
Yeah, and I like them to do it this offseason too. I wouldn't be surprised. I think him being injured this past year kind of showed two things, right? Like the organization saw that him not playing was really their Achilles heel and that their offense had no juice when he wasn't playing. So in that regard, you're like, all right, we got to give this guy a contract. He makes our offense go. In the other sense, you're like, okay, well, now he's injured and he misses a lot of weeks during the season. Now his value immediately goes down. I think that it more comes down to how much Lamar Jackson enjoys and wants to be the franchise quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens. I think he loves being that franchise's leader, that face of the team. I think that he would be happy to take a little bit less money to continue being with that organization because they quite literally, we talked about this on our show a lot this season. They are an example of a team that didn't get a coach who had a philosophy and said, all right, we're going to do it my way. It was very much a team that was like, we're going to get this quarterback and we're going to change our entire offensive philosophy to fit around him because ultimately his dynamic ability and his unique ability is what's going to make us a better offensive football team. So I think in that sense, and you were talking about their cap situation, lock him down now. That way, you got him on the books. You can move money around later on if you need to, but that position's secure. And now focus on that offensive line, getting him some protection. Focus on some defensive depth. You've had issues with that all year.
Let's try a big
focus
body
on
receivers.
Yeah. Someone, hopefully Bateman works out. Get
what about Marquise
Brown,
dude? Marquise Brown might retire and be a Twitch streamer. I think it's kind of hilarious, like all of this stuff in the social media age. It's like these guys get famous and they don't really even need football because there's so many ways to market yourself and make money. But sometimes players getting hurts their contract value. But I just feel like in Lamar's case, they were easily a playoff team with him. They looked like they were rolling to a number one seed or a division title. And then he goes out and immediately they can keep it close. Harbaugh does a good job, but they're losing these games. He's only 24. Like, you're going to have to back up the Brinks truck for Lamar Jackson and Mama Jackson because I don't know if she gets a 10% cut, but